In this video, we're gonna do 5 things I learned about living in Las Vegas that I didn't realize before. Now, I'm doing this video because I did a 3 things video and then it got cut off at the very end slightly because I ran out of storage space. I still posted it and someone commented saying that they watched until the end and they were hoping to get more tips. So let me redo the video and do 5 things that were kind of strange that I found in Las Vegas. And I'm going to try and do new ones from the ones I did in the previous video as to not repeat myself. So the first big thing I realized when moving here is that, it's not all about the strip. It's not all about living in a tourist trap. In fact, the first 2 days I came here, I decided to live in a hotel, Excalibur. I know it wasn't the best hotel, but I came at a time where all the other hotels were booked. There was like a bunch of conventions going on that weekend, including TwitchCon. So point being, I didn't like my time there because it was like this smelly hotel that smelled like, I don't know, it seemed like cigarettes from what people were telling me. And then it's just constant gambling on the lobby floor. It was too much. The pool was like too filled with families, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't live like this. And I thought I didn't like Las Vegas. But then I gave it another chance. I stayed in Airbnb in the suburbs, and then I got to see more of the suburb life, and it was a lot more enjoyable. You could go to a shopping center, you can go to a park, and it was a lot different. So that actually relates to the second one, which is that there actually are various points of nature. I assumed this was just a big desert, which meant that there's really nothing to do except dry heat and sand, because I really didn't know much about Las Vegas. I'm not from this area at all. And so when I finally came here, I realized, wow, there are parks with trees and grass, some very big parks actually. We have some big parks here too. And sure, it's probably man-made, but it's still pretty nice. And on top of that, you have various pools, also man-made, but oftentimes they're free for locals on the weekdays. So locals do get various perks like that, discounts to shows and free pool access. But also, if you are willing to drive 1 hour up, I haven't done this yet, but you can go to Lake Mead. And in Lake Mead, there's obviously the lake, there's the surrounding area, all the surrounding lakes, and you can go on a boat, you can go paddle boarding, and I hear it's a really great time. So there's more to offer than you think. There's also various hiking opportunities, because we have the Red Rock canyons right nearby. Okay, so that brings us to number 3. And the third thing is that there are homeless people here. Now, it's not as bad as California, which is probably why there's a lot of reasons why people are moving here from California, but there's homeless here too. Now, I wouldn't say I can even complain about it, because from what I keep hearing and the little I've seen in California, the homeless in California is like a lot worse than the homeless here. But that's just part of America. If you're not new to my channel, I've been traveling all over the US, so I've seen countless cities and towns, and yeah, there are homeless in almost every one of them. So yeah, that's something you just can't avoid. But the homeless here, I would say it's not terrible, but it does kind of suck a bit when you're at a park and then you just see like half a dozen of them on the outskirts of the park. Now, that said, if you go to a nicer park or you go at the right time of day, then they're fine. Or you really only encounter them if you're going to certain places. Like for me, it's usually certain parks, or when I go to certain gyms like Planet Fitness, certain locations will have them just camped out in the alley. But I've certainly seen more homeless in other places like LA. So because of that, I really can't complain too much. But it is just, if you're not used to it and you're coming from like a really nice suburb area where you're not used to homeless at all, then just be prepared. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. Number 4, let's use a good thing this time. So the fourth thing that I like that was surprising about Las Vegas is the food scene here. You know, I figured it would be mostly just like, you know, gourmet restaurants, because they brought in all these like, you know, fancy restaurants and chefs because they wanted to cater to the tourists there. And there's certainly a lot of that. And, you know, some may disagree, some may think, oh, that is just how it is. That's just how Las Vegas is. In fact, that's actually a conversation I was having the other day with someone, and that's what he believes. But personally, I feel like the food scene here is pretty well established. I'm not saying it's the #1 in the country, but I would say it's better than most places in the USA. You know, I've lived in a lot of towns, mid-sized towns, small cities, mid-sized cities, and that includes everything from Austin to Charlotte to Asheville, North Carolina, to Tampa, to Sarasota, Florida, to Destin, Florida, New Orleans, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Farmington, Colorado Springs. The list goes on and on and on. And the point being is, you know, first off, it just blows away. It's not just restaurants that are like big and 5-star. You have a lot of small town, family-owned restaurants here, food trucks. You have, you know, mid-sized restaurants. You have a Chinatown here. You have all this diversity of food: Peruvian food, Mexican food, Chinese food, pho, Vietnamese food, Korean barbecue here. So there's so much diversity here, and I think it personally blows away any small town, any town that I've been to for that matter, and then even some small cities, small and mid-sized cities. Like, I personally think it blows away like Austin and Charlotte and Raleigh-Durham, because, you know, a lot of those like mid-sized city towns, you know, they're really only known for one or two things, like barbecue or tacos. And then, like, if you take a place like Charlotte, they're like so behind in the food scene that they literally have only one Korean barbecue in the whole city. Think about that. So there's not much diversity there. And, you know, I've been to it. I've been to that one Korean barbecue, and it's okay. I couldn't say it's terrible, but does it hold a candle to the dozens and dozens of Korean barbecues here? No, not at all. So I really think the food scene here is really great. I'm sure someone's going to say New York City's better, or San Francisco or LA's better. That's what I've been told by other people. I agree with the New York thing, but I'm just saying it's better than a lot of places. And then the last thing, I like to always keep it positive. So the last surprising thing is a positive thing, and that is that this is a place where you literally have really good cost of living. Now, I couldn't really tell you the cost of living before I got here, but once I got here, I realized the cost of living is really good. There's a reason why a lot of people live here, and they were formerly from California. They can't afford California. California's too expensive, the taxes, the cost of living, and they've moved here. It's just a much better cost of living. You still got a lot of great amenities, and just people love it here. And you know, let me just tell you, is it perfect? Is Vegas perfect? No. I know, you know, I am in a lot of these Las Vegas local groups where people just complain about Las Vegas. Or I encounter people who have lived here for multiple years. I'm only on my first year living here. And they will say, oh, it's terrible, the dating scene sucks, life here sucks, oh, you're going to change your mind once you live here longer. And I've heard that about Miami, I've heard that about many places, and frankly, when it comes to living, it's such a subjective thing. Everyone has a different opinion. You just got to choose what you like, because for sure you're going to find someone who hates the same city that you love. So don't take anything anyone says too seriously. Make your own choice, have your own experience, and then go from there. I know people who love living here. So just keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.